Hello, everybody. Dear participants of this meeting, it's my honor to be part of this meeting. So many thanks to Professor Kirikidis for preparing this opportunity and inviting me. Happy Nowruz to all of you, especially the Persian members. My name is Hadi Ahmadi from Iran. Currently, I'm Director General for conservation, restoration, and rehabilitation of Iranian architectural heritage. I'm not here representing the government or the Ministry of Cultural Heritage, Tourism and Handicrafts. I'm here as a young Iranian cultural heritage expert. Vagelis asked me to talk about the sanction and its effects on cultural heritage management in Iran. For this, I would like to start from the background of cultural heritage in Iran. As you may know, the first trace of human in Iranian Plato dates back to 200 years ago. Several periods, so many high and downs, dynasties, kings, invasions, famines, and natural disasters passed through this part of world, and through this long history there are so many properties, cultural heritage properties, which are remained for human. The cultural heritage properties in Iran, supported by the strong legislations, and since 1931, when the first law to protect the cultural heritage emerged, and several other laws by the time added to legislations, the cultural heritage is under protective the government and mostly funded by the government budget. There are like 1 million tangible cultural heritage in Iran, which just 34,000 of these properties are listed in the national list. At the same time, we have some properties in the World Heritage list, 24 properties under the Convention of 1972 and 16 properties under the Convention of 2003 as an intangible heritage. The Ministry of Cultural Heritage, Tourism and Handicrafts is officially responsible for protecting and supporting the cultural heritage in Iran. Mostly, as I told, mostly the financial support of the conservation in Iran is from the government body, and of course the budget we need for the conservation never been enough as much as this dimension of cultural heritage would need. Here in my presentation, I prepared the chronological view of legislation for cultural heritage in Iran. Uh, because of shortage of time, uh, I'm going to the sanction part. As you may know, the Iranians are very familiar with the sanction. Actually, my generation, born and live in the sanction situation. There are a long list of shortages, forbiddens, and hardnesses for all Iranian citizens. But when we are talking about the cultural heritage and sanctions, especially the current situation, which is the sanction effects on so many things, including the cultural heritage and the quality of the conservation, it's not about the Iran or Iranians, because the cultural heritage is not belongs to just Iranians. We are talking about the humankind heritage, which is located in Iran. When we talk about the heritage conservation in Iran, it's not a separate issues on large scale management of the country, because the conservation, as I told, funded by the government budget. Uh, the management is the arrangement of priorities to use the resources. When the resources are so limited because of sanction, probably the cultural heritage will be at the end of the management priorities list. Obviously, the other issues like health, security, education, and so many other priorities will locate at the higher position of the priorities list of the country. So the first effect of the sanction on cultural heritage management is the budget. I divided the effects of sanction on cultural heritage to two main groups of effects. The first group is the direct effects. So, about the direct effects of sanction on cultural heritage, uh, the first things that we can talk about is the scientific connection with the other institutions across the world, with the experts, with the donors. The sanction actually cut or limit this relation, and somehow it affects on the quality of conservation in Iran. The second thing is the material for restoration and for the conservation. Both the new materials and the chemical materials which we usually use in the labs, the conservation labs, restoration labs. The other things is the funds for the heritage projects, which is limited to the domestic funds, which is not good. And actually, officially, we can't have any overseas funds for our projects because of sanction, because of the no, because there is no any way to transfer money to Iran, even for cultural heritage. During the sanction, the joint missions and joint projects with the overseas expert and institutions are banned. The other subject is difficulty of abroad museum exhibitions and the other exhibitions from overseas museums to Iran. It's uh, not impossible, but very hard. The insurance issues, the other problems which several times happen, like um, the danger of uh, capturing the heritage materials abroad, the negative effects of sanction on human resources and the training quality, which the uh, obviously the people, the experts cannot have the training courses abroad easily. The lack of the devices and tools in laboratory for the cultural heritage tests, like the aging tests, like the XRD, XRF, and other technological tests. Uh, and the other effects is the reducing the income of the sites because of um, problem with the uh, tourist incomes, which is because of sanction. It's a serious problem. So the list is long and the time is short. I would like to add one more thing on my list: the illegal trafficking, illegal excavation, which is the consequence of the sanction situation. Actually, we believe that the sanction is unfair. It's against so many things, including human beings, including the cultural heritage. And the effects of this unfair sanction on cultural heritage is very clear in so many aspects.